Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my live broadcast number 281. And I'm broadcasting live from Auckland, New Zealand. My name is Keith Pure, and I'm addressing the Billion Coin community. I'm going to go straight up and share. There's really nothing new on the blog. It's the same as the other day. I didn't record yesterday because we've got Wi-Fi problems, and in the end I had to go and buy a new modem, so it's all good to go now. Anyway, we'll just go and share, and I have got some pieces up here to read back and share. I'll just drop that one down. And first one off is this one here. Should TVC exist? Right, obviously all of these are from admin. I'd like to enter the debate at the most fundamental level. Should TVC exist? I created TVC. I am the admin of TVC. Why did I create it? When I look out into the world I live in, I see so much poverty and misery that I started to question everything. Through much personal research, I found out that the entire world we live in is being run by the elite. The elite gather in secret to make their plans for the world. From their point of view, they own us. They own all of us. They gather in secret because they are the evil. Over the last 3.5 years, I have exposed the elite over and over again, right here in this blog. Pizzagate. Pizzagate is not a theory, it is real. And the evidence is all over the internet. Only evil people will do that. The blog is full of many evil things they are doing. How do the elite run the world? They created central banking, which allows them to create money out of thin air without accountability and without real auditing. I've exposed this many times in the blog. They have manipulated all but a handful of countries to use their global central banking system, and the results speak for themselves. It has devastated the entire world and is the source of widespread poverty, war, crime, and human misery. Because of central banking, governments issue money out of the barrel of a gun. I believe that is barbaric. From my point of view, humanity has evolved past the point of being barbaric. Bitcoin is a leap forward out of being barbaric when it comes to the idea of money. Bitcoin is not issued out of a barrel of a gun, but let's face it, Bitcoin is far from mass adoption. So you can't really spend Bitcoin today, right? Most merchants in the world, from large to small, don't accept Bitcoin for payment for their goods and services. Bitcoin has already succeeded to get the attention of every country in the world, and world leaders are debating what to do about it. Thankfully, enough countries have allowed it to continue to develop without using force to stop people from using it. problem is Bitcoin is leaning on the system the elite have created, which is public markets. So it is hard to own a large amount of Bitcoin without becoming a trader in the public markets. Poor people are poor traders. Public markets by design are highly unpredictable. So even with Bitcoin, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Bitcoin is too deeply entrenched into public markets right now, and it seems hopeless it will ever be free from this entanglement. The other thing wrong with Bitcoin, because of the public markets, is that it is viewed as a form of property that is owned by the user. So many governments around the world are taxing people that own Bitcoin, usually in a capital gains tax, type tax. That is a major problem for both people and the government because tax law is so complicated and Bitcoin moves easily from one jurisdiction to another, which makes regulation and enforcement a daunting task because even various governments around the world are in disagreement with each other. TBC is an alternative to the barbaric system the elite have created. But we are firmly a peer-to-peer coin today, and the path forward for us is not the public markets. Our path forward is gathering merchants that will accept TBC for payment for their goods and services. That is a clean path so that we remain self-regulated and private. And you see our public notice to understand it. So go and have a look at the public notice. You don't own TBC because I issued these coins as their creator as a stewardship. The good news is you don't pay capital gains tax on TBC coins. We are in the distribution phase of TBC and we will remain in the distribution phase until all the admin wallet is empty. Now let's just go back a couple of sentences here. Okay, see our public notice to understand that. And right, here we go. You don't own TBC because these coins, because I issued these coins as their creator, as a stewardship. Have a good think about that. Even though you've brought the coins, you don't own them. The good news is you don't pay capital gains tax on the TBC coins. We are in the distribution phase of TBC, and we will remain in the distribution phase until the admin wallet is empty. It's bad news that you have to be responsible with what I have created and that no harm should be done in using TBC. TBC motto is no harm. Is it too much to expect people to be good stewards? Responsibility is key in holding TBC. TBC holds real value based on the membership agreement. There is nothing more valuable on earth than mankind. Don't even try to debate me on that. When one living man makes an agreement with another living man, That is the exercise of free will. It is undeniable that we live in a free will universe. Governments and societies come and go, but the free will universe remains. Every member of our society adds 1 grain of value to all the TBC coins, which are limited, 1 billion coins by agreement. It is pure willful ignorance. If you don't know that about TBC, we stop counting members when we reach 1 billion paid members. When we enter the economic phase of TBC, which is not far away, the economic phase, TBC, we will have a stable currency where every TBC coin holds the value of 1 billion grain. Measuring the value of TBC and grain grounds TBC, but we are not backed by gold, and we should be careful how we reference our relationship to gold to avoid confusion. The nature of a distribution phase and an economic phase are very different from each other. Risk is a part of life and unavoidable. There's risk in the distribution phase. That risk comes with 1,000 flavors. The flavor most are concerned about is right now is what if we fail to distribute all of the TBC coins? What happens then? Let's face it, if we fail to distribute all of the TBC coins, then TBC dies. It will be impossible to complete our mission if we fail to reach our objective of having 1 billion members. The distribution phase of TBC is also the establishing value phase of creating a stable currency to use. In the economic phase of TBC, the value will be established already and questioned. When 1 billion people come together in agreement that 1 TBC coin is worth 1 billion grains, how will the world be able to deny that? The risk is real, but fear concerning it is a choice. Let's just say that fear and love don't go together. As the admin of TBC, I am asking all the members to question their fears. Are they necessary? Was force used to make you use TBC? No. You don't have to use TBC, and you don't have to believe in TBC. You have thousands of choices on which currency you want to support. Understand this, TBC has been a pathway of both failure and success. The ultimate failure would be the resignation of TBC creator during the distribution phase of TBC. Look at what happened to Apple when Steve Jobs was forced out of the job of running Apple. Apple almost died as a company, and they begged for Steve Jobs to come back and complete what he started. His vision for Apple was required in order for it to become a major brand it is today. Greed was at the source of the reason they put Steve Jobs through that mess. So I too have an unfulfilled vision for the distribution phase of TBC and a great vision ahead for the economic phase of TBC. This is the purpose of my life and what God has ordained me to do even before I was born. Failure is not an option for me. We can experience failures along the way, but we really don't fail until we give up. Then that is failure. I view failures on the path as opportunities to make necessary changes in order to reach success. Only the willfully ignorant would say that TBC is a failure today. We have way more things to be proud of than we have concern. The goodness of TBC is so much larger than our current shortcomings. TBC is well on its way of manifesting into reality its mission to end poverty globally. Why stop now? This debate is not going to stop us, that's for sure. In fact, it is already making us stronger, and that is a very good thing. The world needs TBC so that the people have a clear alternative to the barbaric money being issued out of a barrel of a gun. The elite have been unchallenged far too long, and TBC is rising up to the task of challenging the evil system. TBC recognizes the value of living men and living women. To my knowledge, no other currency in the world recognizes that. I was the first member of TBC, and I place my value in it, but not as a slave. I am the master of my destiny, a destiny of great worth. Each member since does likewise, and TBC is a set of tools for each of them to use to empower them to do great things. Great things like what you expect millionaires and billionaires to do with their money. TBC is also a school and each member a student to learn how to act, speak, and I think like a millionaire or billionaire. This kind of transformation is exactly what the world would expect if someone is going to claim they are a millionaire or a billionaire. A bunch of zeros on a computer or phone screen is not going to be acceptable for them. They will expect you to live up to the titles. This is all part of my vision, TBC, and it is the way we will lift up humanity and end poverty globally. Very deep inside of every poor person is a millionaire screaming to come out. TBC will release the poor and the millionaires inside out of the prison of suppression that the elite have locked them into. Don't be afraid of the person letting you out. My calling in life is to release the slaves. I became a self-made millionaire long before I started TBC. I know the way, so follow me. The SEC EC investigation was the hardest test we had to pass. Thanks to the people that helped us to formalize Kringle Society, TBC has been able to press forward without interference from governments. TBC is a lawful currency within a lawful society. We do not seek authorization to operate from any government. We operate privately, but we must be responsible. Otherwise, anything less than responsible call for governments to get involved in our affairs. It is implied that we must regulate within the word self-regulate. As admin, it is my duty to regulate and stop any misuse of the currency I created. Any of you have made that job very hard. It is far better to set the standards while our numbers are in the millions than to wait until our numbers are in the billions. Based on my projections of our current growth point, we are very close to reaching our objective of 1 billion members. So, that is why I felt very important to issue the new policy. Making policy is how regulation is done. Enforcement of policy is the other side. We need to live up to our motto, do no harm. Personal responsibility is absolutely necessary. You will never become a millionaire, let alone a billionaire, without personal responsibility. This is a fundamental principle that we all have to embrace, so embrace it. TBC offers unheard of leverage during the distribution phase. Cookie rewards are amazing during the 2019 promo when a member purchases 40 grain from an older member. In most cases, how much is distributed from the admin wallet to that purchasing member. Over one whole TBC coin valued at over $10 million today, once that member redeems their cookies right, it is unheard leverage. Granted, the value is mostly locked up until we complete the distribution phase of TBC. But so what? The leverage is real. What if my projections are correct? We are just a few months away from completing the distribution phase. How much was the admin paid and what transaction? Nothing, right? Admin is not paid to be involved in transactions. Admin fees are for access, and now it is important that the admin fees are paid to access the billionaire position. A little gratitude would be nice to see for having access to so much leverage. Folks, I really could write a whole book on the answer to the question, should TBC exist? But this is a pretty good article to answer that question. Use your free will any way you want, and always remember that both good and bad consequences follow that. Be responsible for goodness sake. Don't blame others for your shortcomings, otherwise you will never be able to conquer yourself. For every problem there is a solution. are solution orientated. TBC is also a challenge to bring out the best version of yourself. Plus, your best version will make my job a lot easier. Don't worry, we will find 1,111,111 members that will be happy to pay the $8,000 admin fee every month from now on. Trust me, when we are done, all will live up to the expectation of being a billionaire, and the world is going to love them very much. Mankind is ready for a currency of the people, by the people, and for the people. The situation is far more complicated than what most of you think is. This article is just one tip of the iceberg of what I will bring to light regarding it. Expect many articles to come to bring clarity and answers, and if you have what it takes, you will fill one of those billionaire positions. Stay close to the blog. It is here to lift you up. Well, there you have it, folks. Remember the heading to that is, should TBC exist? Well, that just about does me for this broadcast, so I'll just stop sharing. And that is quite a long broadcast, that one, and makes a lot of sense. You know, people just got to believe in this coin. It'll come off. We've just been through a few rough patches. I think everybody's been forgiven, I hope. And we just move on forward. So that's me for this broadcast, and nice to have you here. And we'll see you again Monday afternoon, our time, same time, 3:30 p.m. And have a great weekend, and peace be with you.